What's up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank y'all so much for tuning in once again. So I am back, you guys. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right? Happy Tuesday. I hope y'all are doing well. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. For those who have already joined the live, listen, as you guys come into the building, make sure you hit that like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. That is super, super important. It definitely helps the channel. If you are new here and you like what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Also, y'all put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me perfectly fine. Put a 1 in the chat. I know last live the audio was a little crazy, but put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. If you can hear me good, put a 1 in the chat. I just want to make sure that the sound is good. Shout out to everybody in the building. How y'all doing? Long time no see. Shout out to everybody here, everybody watching. Thank y'all so much for being here. All right, so y'all can hear me. All right. What's going on, y'all? I hope y'all been doing good. I appreciate y'all for being here. Shout out to Puerto Rican Princess Thurman Jr., Donatello, Kenny Peoples, Alex. What's going on, Alex? Eugene Steele, how are you? Lawan, the Scratch Off King. What's going on? Johnny Graham, Kenny Peoples, Lorenzo Redmond, Successful MD. What's going on? Alistair, how are you? Shout out to you guys. Thank y'all so much for being here. Make sure y'all are hitting the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Yeah. So I am back. Happy Tuesday. I know you guys see the title. Y'all probably like, what the hell? But I have a couple of clips that I want to share with you guys. A couple of clips that's been going viral. Shout out to, and Lord, I forget channels, but I know his name is what's his name is Cooley. I forget the No Fugazi podcast. Shout out to him. I'm going to be sharing that viral clip from his podcast of this woman who was crying because she hated to acknowledge the truth. So that's where we're going to start. And I have a couple more that I want to address in this particular live stream. So make sure you guys are liking the live stream as you come in. Also, definitely if you want to support the channel, so we do have super chats are back in the building. If you want to support the channel via super chat, Cash App, or any way you would like to, definitely go ahead and do that. We can definitely do that as well. So, and also comment, leave your thoughts, all of that stuff in the chat as well. So we're gonna jump right into the video. Y'all say y'all can hear me good. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into the clip, and then I want to get y'all thoughts on this one. Definitely let me know what you think of this, and we're gonna kind of go through it. Here we go. So we'll go ahead and pull it up.
In a man's eyes, your value is tied to your beauty.
I have no value because I'm not.
Now, it says woman is brought to tears on podcast after man tells her that she needs to lose weight in order to attract the kind of men she wants. So we're gonna watch this. He didn't necessarily tell her that, but we're gonna kind of go through it. And I don't know if you guys have seen this already, but definitely chime in. I want to hear your thoughts on this. So let's go.
Just telling you that.
In a man's eyes, your value is tied to your beauty.
I have no value because I'm not her size.
No, he's not saying that.
No, that is exactly what you're saying. That's exactly what you're saying, because you're trying to say that I'm not. I can't attract the right man because I'm not small enough.
No, he's saying what.
I could tell her what I'm saying. Let me just tell you what I'm saying.
My looks are everything, right? So they're the only thing that matters, right?
That isn't what I said.
They're the thing that matters first and foremost.
That isn't what I said.
For men.
Right. But that isn't. I'm speaking specifically to a certain thing, right? So I said that women advertise themselves. Women don't normally walk up to men, lots of men, and approach them. You don't walk up to every guy you see that's attractive and approach them. The man, and not only that, you would respect it more if a man would approach you. So men approach and women advertise themselves. So from that standpoint, since you're not meeting certain guys, right? So let me finish. Since you're not attracting certain guys that meets your qualifications, that you would want to even have them guys get down on one knee to marry you, if you're not meeting those guys, that means that you need to change something about yourself.
Now, let me stop it there. Shout out to Lawanda Scratch Off King. Thank you so much for the super chat. It's been a minute since I've been getting super chats. Y'all know I appreciate you guys. Definitely support the channel, you girl. You know, the channel been struggling, but I've been good. But thank y'all so much. Lawanda Scratch Off King, thank you so much for the super chat. Says watching on the truck. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Be safe. Take care. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. But what I wanted to say about this so far. So this woman was crying on this podcast because she felt the way. He didn't come out and tell her, "Oh, you're just fat and you can't get a man because you're fat." He's basically telling her that men have standards. And this is what a lot of women hate to see. This is why I say it's over for a lot of these modern women, because they hate to acknowledge the truth. So part of the truth is this: she's allegedly, because from what she said on that podcast is, you know, somehow she's not finding the right kind of dudes, or she's not finding a guy that is compatible with her, or somebody that wants her, or whatever. And he's basically saying part of that reason could be because of your weight. And she took offense to it. You know why? Because that is part of her insecurities. That is what she deep down inside knows about herself. She know that her weight could be an issue when it comes to dating. But instead of her acknowledging that and doing something about it, she would rather cry because it's a reality that she's not ready to face. Bottom line, a lot of this stuff that we talk about when we talk about accountability, and this could go for anybody. But the majority of women are the ones who don't want to accept accountability because they believe that they're everything in 10 bags of chips. They believe that they're the best thing that's ever happened to a man because they have a vagina. And so they think that they don't have to make any improvements. That's what it's all about, making improvements to get the things that you say you want in life. They understand it when it comes to jobs and careers and education, but they don't understand it when it comes to relationships. And it's no different when it comes to relationships. You have to give a man the things that, you know, give him what he wants in order for you to get what you want. Bottom line, you can no longer think that because you have a vagina and because you're a woman that you're just supposed to get everything from a man, everything that you want from a man, and you don't have to bring anything to the table. And this is why that question still is so hard for women to accept. They don't want to accept the fact that they have to make changes to themselves because somehow in their delusional world, they've been thought or told that they're perfect and they're just perfect as they are. Women are just the queens and y'all so great and all of that. And there are a lot of great women, but those great women also know that they have to improve and they have to make changes, that they're not perfect. They know that there are things about them that they could improve upon because we're human beings. I don't understand why so many women think that they're just everything and 10 bags of chips and think that they don't have to improve. They don't have to do anything to better themselves or to be, be a certain way for the man that they want. It's lunacy to think that you can require so much from men, but think that a man shouldn't require anything from you. That's just buffoonery, in my opinion, and it doesn't make any sense. And this is why I say a lot of women are lost, and a lot of women are they're just, it's just over for them. It's just over because they refuse to accept the truth. And and I'm gonna get back to the clip in a minute. In this clip, it basically shows that. It shows that this woman is insecure about her weight. Bottom line. Because if she wasn't, she wouldn't be sitting here crying, trying to make it seem like, and then once again, playing the victim card, making it seem like this man is trying to tell her something, like he's disrespecting her or putting her down. He didn't say that your weight is the only factor because he acknowledges. And if you watch the whole video, he says, you're cute. You're cute. You're not an ugly woman. That's not an ugly woman. But there are some things in some areas where she can improve. And if she's looking for a certain type of man, then you got to understand that you can't just sit back and think, oh, I'm just good the way I am. If I'm 300 pounds and I don't know her weight, I'm just speaking in general, that if you're 300 pounds, you can sit back here and require a man to be 6 feet, 6-pack abs, 6 figures, all of these things. And you're sitting here 300 pounds. You might be cute in the face. You might have a job and all the things that you think that should qualify you for that type of man. But when you realize that's not what the men are looking for, men are looking for the simple things. Men are looking for women who can cooperate with them. Cooperation. Can you believe the most simple cooperation, love, support, a feminine woman. He want a woman who's not 300 pounds. He want a fit woman, a woman who's not obese. But that's the hardest thing for a lot of these women, because those are the very things that they don't want to do or be for a man. You want to eat all the chips. Matter of fact, you want to eat 10 bags of chips and more. You want to do whatever it is you want to do, but you have these high expectations for a man. And you don't think that you should change or do anything. He should just be lucky to have you because you have a vagina. And that is no longer the case. Men are speaking out. You hear a lot of these women talking about these men on these podcasts. Why? Why do y'all think a lot of these women are so stressed out about these podcasts, these men with mics? Because you don't want them to talk. You don't want to hear from a man. They don't want to hear what men have to say. Because for the longest, men have been silent. Men have just whatever, didn't say anything to these women, didn't want to, upset these women, or, just didn't want to go back and forth with these women. So these women are used to men being silent. It didn't mean that these men didn't have opinions, or these men didn't have certain things, that they noticed or whatever. They just weren't very vocal about it to the women. You know what I'm saying? So now that we're in an environment where men are speaking out, men are talking, men are saying what it is that they want. Oh, now these men are sassy. And like I said in one of my previous videos, that's okay. Let's call them sassy. This is not the first time women have insulted men. What Kevin Samuel said, what is it? Shame, insult, guilt, and a need to be right. That is exactly what they do. You want to be right. You hate to acknowledge that you are wrong in a lot of things. So the first thing you want to do is use shaming tactics to shame the men and call them names. They make up all these different names. Now it's sassy. Next month, or who knows, it'll be another name. But you can keep on doing that. It's to a point now where men don't care. They just don't care. They don't care about the shaming tactics because they know, the cat is out the bag. They know what these women are all about. So at the end of the day, if women really want something substantial in their lives, if they really want something beneficial when it comes to relationships and man, they're going to have to do the change. And I've been saying this for about a year or two now. Women are going to have to make the changes. And it's not to say, once again, for the people in the back, it's not to say that men don't have to make changes. We already know that. That's the thing. It's been drilled and drilled and drilled. I've been hearing this since I was a kid. Men ain't this and they need to do this and this and that. And so it made you to believe that every man is out here just a dog and doing all this dirt when it's not the case. There are a lot of good men, and the focus is never on the good men who are great fathers and great husbands who have committed to women and supporting their families and out here working and doing a good job. The focus is never on them because they want the narrative to continuously be spun that all black men are just deadbeats and they're just this and they're dusties and this is that. And that's where I come in when it comes to this channel. And I'm going to continue to say that as long as YouTube will allow me to be up here to say it, that is not the case for all black men. And I think that we have to stop letting those who do that, who portray all black men in a negative light, we have to counter that. And I said this before, y'all know it's not my first time saying this. You can't just allow them to spin a narrative. This is where the pick-me's come in, because I got a video about that too, coming up really, really soon, where, the women who clearly are single and bitter and mad and angry because nobody wants them, usually shame the women now. You call the women pick-me's and mammies and all of these things because you're mad because you can't get what you want. Typically, when you hear a woman who called another woman a pick-me, she's usually single and bitter. Probably a single mother and mad because no man don't want to take her seriously. And she done wasted her time, her youth, and everything else. And now she's just mad and bitter. So we're going to talk about that on another, probably another live stream. But yeah, women have to start being accountable. I don't care. They can constantly shift it to men all you want, but it's still gonna come back to you. It's still gonna come back to you being accountable for you. You can blame the men all you want. You can blame your experiences and what you've been through, and that's fine. Nobody can take that away from you. But you still gonna have to take some accountability. It's not all one side is a one-sided deal. It takes two. And if you're in a relationship with a person and you're constantly, dealing with the same type of men and you're constantly going through the same things over and over and over, at some point you got to look at yourself and say, hold on, wait a minute. Why am I attracting these type of guys? Because there are other types of guys. Why can't I attract the guy who is responsible, who wants to be married, who wants to be committed, who wants, to have a serious relationship with me? Why am I not attracting those types of guys? Why I'm constantly attracting Pookie and Ray Ray or whoever? Then, you got to start asking yourself a question, baby. You got to start looking at you and trying to figure out why, what is it about you that's constantly getting in these same types of relationships? And why do you allow these types of men in your life? That's the next question you have to ask. Successful MD says, DeeDee, we all know women are perfect and everything negative is blamed on the man. But when it's positive, they are self-made, right? More than likely, she tried to conquer men with her box and lost. Probably so. Thank you so much for the super chat, Successful MD. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. But you're right. And we've been saying this for a minute now, and it's if they don't make any changes or do anything differently, then they're going to continue to be single and miserable. And unfortunately, the men aren't going to be able to find suitable women for marriage if that's what they're looking for, or just relationships. Because I know a lot of men have checked out. Men don't even want to get married at this point because they don't feel that these women are marriage material. And I understand that. But if you want even just committed relationships with a woman, it's going to be very hard to find them here. You know what I'm saying? So because a lot of the women think alike and they just don't see that it's them. They don't see that it's them. And I've actually had men argue the fact that it's not the women, it's the men. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't say that. I would say if you want to be fair, you could say there are some men where it's a problem, sure. But you just can't fully say that it's all the men and not the women. That's where I disagree, because I see too much. I see too much on social media. If people think social media is a world within itself, well, in real life, I see it. I see it very close to me. So it is not just social media, and it's not just men that are the problem. A lot of these women are very entitled, very selfish, very unaccountable. And that's a problem. And that's not going to be conducive to any healthy relationship with the type of men, especially the type of men that they're saying they're looking for. So, baby, let's go ahead and get back into this video. Here we go.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. So the one thing that I need to change, you're saying, is just to lose weight.
I'm saying the one thing you need to change is to lose weight and to get in the gym, and you will become more attractive to more men.
It's
based off of beauty.
But that's never been an issue for me.
What I'm telling you, it is.
Not for a lot of men.
I don't want a man who's only going to judge me based on my size.
That's how it is. We don't want a man. Look, you just called him short. We don't want a woman that's only gonna base us based off our height. I'm 6'4", he's 5'8". But you said that he's disqualified because he's 5'8".
I didn't judge his character.
But you judge his height and he doesn't qualify for you.
Okay, but that's not saying.
And we're saying, but look, time out. The same way he doesn't qualify for you, with your figure, a lot of guys you won't qualify for. And that's what you have to realize.
And you know what? Can y'all hear the clip? Fine. Let me know if y'all can hear the clip. If y'all can hear that clip, okay. Put a 1 if the clip you can hear it perfectly fine. Because I think I was having a problem with the clips. Could y'all hear the audio on the clip pretty good? Put a 1 and let me know, because the audio clips weren't clear before. Y'all could hear that perfectly fine. The clip. Okay. Thank y'all. So look, to his point, he was absolutely right. Women feel, this is why I say the entitlements are real. They feel entitled to be able to make sure you guys are hitting the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. They feel entitled to have their standards and talk about what they want from men. But a man is, you get upset when a man has a preference and he says what he wants and what his standards are, because you don't fit into his standards. Oh, and they get upset and start crying. Well, look, nobody don't care about your feelings at this point. You don't care about his feelings. She just, like he said, you call that man short, and there was nothing to it. You don't think that, that's something that he cannot control. You called him short as if that's a problem. And now, they got They have these surgeries now. If you want to get taller, you can. But who wants to go through all of that? But I mean, he would have to pay a lot of money, thousands and thousands of dollars and painful surgeries to make himself taller to fit the standards for these women. But these women won't do anything to try to fit the standards for a man. How is that fair? And we talk about equality, baby. No, you don't want equality. They want control. They want to be able to control the man, control the narrative, do whatever it is they want to do, and you're just supposed to sit there and take it. No. That's not how that goes. So she's sitting here crying because she's allegedly, or she looks a little bit overweight. Not an ugly woman at all. I think she's single. She's saying that wasn't an issue in her past relationships, but why don't you have a man? See, this is what I'm saying. And they hate to accept just the possibility that something about them may not be right, or something about them they may have to change. It hurts them to think that, oh, well, damn, I got to make some changes. I thought I was perfect. No, you're not. None of us are perfect. You know what I'm saying? The moment women start to realize that and accept that and realize that, hey, you can't go into a relationship thinking that you're perfect. And that's the thing. All of the problems are always the man's fault. He don't do this. He need to do this. He need to do this. He need to do every damn thing. And you don't need to do nothing. That day is over. That's never gonna, even if you found the man that you say you wanted, right? Even if you happen to get a man that you said you wanted, he got everything, all of the requirements that you wrote down on paper. Even if you get a man 6 feet tall, 6 figures or more, 6 packs, strong, masculine man, he's interested in you and he give you a chance. If you going into it with that mentality that you're perfect and he's got to continuously, jump over mountains and hills and all of these things for you, and you could just sit back and be the queen that you are because you have a vagina, that I guarantee you that relationship is going to fail, because that man is going to run out of, he's going to get tired. He's going to get tired of bending over backwards for you when it's not being reciprocated, when you're not doing anything to show him any of that back. He wants love and all of this stuff too. If you can't give him the things that he wants, he's going to get tired of trying to continuously give you everything that you want, and you're not giving him any of what he wants. That's going to get old, and then he's going to get tired, and that relationship is not going to work because it's a one-sided deal. So in order for you to not just get the man that you want, you have to know what's necessary and what's needed to maintain and sustain that relationship. And that's where a lot of people fall short. You have people who have been married. I just posted that video of that lady and her husband with 14 children. 14 children, and they got a divorce. So it shows you, even if you get married, if you don't know how to make that relationship work and go through what's necessary to make that relationship last and work, you're going to end up back single out here in these streets, older with less options. That's it. And more children. So it really, this goes for single people and married people who marry women who really think that their marriage has run its course, or you've outgrown your husband because now you got a job and you're making some money and it's all about the money now, and now you think he's useless, and all of a sudden you're too good for him. This goes out to those women too, baby. You think that you're gonna get back out in these streets, Tia Mowry as an example, and it's gonna be so easy for you in your 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s to just go get a man who's better than what you already have. This is what women don't think about. Instead of working on what you already have built, working on the marriage and the relationship and the family that you built, you'd rather just dismantle your whole family, going out here thinking that you're going to find something much greater and much better. And these women are in for a challenge and an upset. Because do you think that by dismantling your marriage and your family, you're going to go out here and you're not going to have to work on that either? If you're running from working on what you already have, what makes you think that going out looking for somebody else is going to be easier? And you're starting from scratch. So you're going to have to try to get to know this person, build a relationship with them, communication, relationship skills, all of that is still going to be necessary for you to maintain that particular relationship. What are you looking for? You looking for a man to just do what you want? Because if you're looking for that, that's where they fall short. And now you're older, you have children, you're an ex-wife, you walked away from that relationship. It's going to be even more difficult for you to find what you think it is you deserve and what you feel you need. And you're just in for upset. Now you're going to be lonely, bitter, and even more angrier because you can't find what it is that you think and feel you want when you had the best thing that you ever was going to get in your life. So this is why I say this, and I preach this a lot, because I think a lot of women need to realize this. And I wish women would open their minds and their ears and understand that what I'm saying and what a lot of people are saying is the truth. It's not bashing. It's just making you aware of this, because a lot of women have been told, y'all, you're the prize and you're so great and a man should be lucky to have you. If you are a good woman, and you have the qualities that men want, yeah, a man would be lucky to have you, but you would also be lucky to have him as well. It's not a one-sided thing. If he's a good man and he meets all the requirements that you're looking for and you meet all the requirements that he's looking for, to me, y'all both are a catch. He finds you, you have the things that he want, he has what you want, y'all make it work. It still doesn't mean that even if you find what you want, that there's no work involved. I say this all the time. Marriage is work. Relationships are work. You can't go into it thinking that, oh, I could just sit back and relax and, oh, whatever. And then you find yourself single again. No, you have to work on the relationship. You have to, that's what a commitment is all about. That's what makes marriages work when you're in it, because you're vowing to one another that we're going to work through this through thick and thin. I love you enough and we love each other enough that we're going to work through it, even though it's hard. Even you might get on my nerves sometimes, but I know that you are, the bigger picture shows that, and what we vowed to each other is that we're going to work through it. We're going to work it out. We're going to get through it. It's not always going to, you have good times and bad. I say that all the time. That's what relationships are about. And when you understand that, you don't go into it with this idea that, oh, I'm perfect and he better do everything that I want. And if he don't, I'm going to move on to the next. And that's why you're constantly moving from the next to the next to the next. You're never going to be able to find what you're looking for because it doesn't exist. How about that? It doesn't exist. Thank you so much for the super chat. The Zone. Thank you for the super chat. Says thank you, Dee. I appreciate you. You're welcome. Thank you so much for the super chat. So yeah, I mean, if you want healthy relationships, you got to understand that it's not about money. It's not about always being right. It's not about your feelings all the time. And I understand I'm a woman and I have my feelings. I get in my feelings too. I'm not a man. I'm a woman. And women, we get in our feelings. We have feelings. Yes, I do too. We get in our feelings, but just because you feel a certain way don't mean that that's actually what it is. You can feel, think, and all these things, but you have to realize your feelings doesn't always equate to actuality or the truth. It's just how you feel at that moment. And our feelings change all day. So we got to understand that just because I could feel sad, but that don't mean I should go to my husband and say, I feel sad, and then start getting mad at him and blaming him for me feeling sad. No, I need to figure out why I'm feeling sad. Maybe see somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like what? It's not his fault I'm feeling sad, because I might feel sad at 7 a.m. By 10 a.m. I'm happy again. So you can't put that on your man. You can't put that on him and think that he's supposed to be right there to just coddle your feelings all day. No, he has to go out and work and be a man and do what he needs to do for the family. He can't coddle your feelings all day. You need to see a therapist, or you need to, regulate that, or find a hobby, or do something, because your feelings aren't always valid. It's just the truth. And women don't like to hear that because they're like, what you mean? My feelings aren't valid. I mean, no, they're not. They're not always valid, because your feelings aren't based in truth. It's just your feeling. And if your feelings change all day, then how is somebody supposed to be able to work with that? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things I think women need to work on. Me and my husband talk about this all the time. My feelings or women's feelings, and what you think, and you think and feel all different things all day doesn't mean that is the truth. So this is why I say, as women, and I really wish that women would get this, because it would better your situations. It would make it your situation and what you're looking for a lot better. It would give you better options and more opportunities to get what it is that you want. And the reason why women aren't getting what they want because they hate to listen. They hate to take accountability. You hate to hear the truth about yourself. You want to continuously be in this delusional state, thinking that you're right, and it's not benefiting you. It's not benefiting you whatsoever. And that's why I say this, because I see it so much on a daily basis. Women hate to take accountability. Like what Kevin Samuel said, accountability is like kryptonite. Oh, women want to beat the hell out you for you telling the truth because they don't want to accept it. But you have to in order to get what it is that you want. And the more women constantly constantly live in this delusion, the more men are saying, hell no, we don't want to deal with it. This is why I say it's over, because a lot of women don't want to accept the facts. And a lot of men are frankly getting tired of it. A lot of men are saying, the hell with this. I'm moving on. I'm getting my life together. I'm living my best life. I'm not even gonna worry about it. If I get some fun out of these women, I'll get some fun. But I'm not committing to this because I can't trust it. That's what I see men saying, that they can't trust it. Marcus, thank you so much for the super chat. Said, love your content, D. Much support. Thank you. I appreciate you, Marcus, for the super chat and for supporting the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's see. Damian Watkins says, this is a selfish microwave society. Me. Sounds like me, a bad opera song. Exactly. It's very, thank you so much for the super chat, Damian. I appreciate you. You're absolutely right. It is. It's a selfish mentality. And a lot of women suffer from that mentality. And so that's part of their problem. And if they would just open their minds and accept that, hey, you're not this pristine, just weak-minded woman that just doesn't, you're just oblivious to everything and you're just perfect. And you know what I mean? It's just this woman who's just so, I'm a woman and I can do no wrong. No, baby, that is no. We see a lot of wrong done by these women. We see a lot of wrong done by these women, but y'all hate to acknowledge it, and it's to a point now where men are just tapping out. Men are just tapping out. Eric Barber says, preach queen. Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate the generous, what is this? Super chat. I forgot what it is, y'all. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate you for the support. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, that's just what it is. They don't want to take accountability at all. And that's the downfall and why I say it's over for a lot of these modern women. And some of these women are even teaching this to their daughters. And it's just a cycle that's going to repeat itself. And, it's just interesting to see how this is all going and how this is going to play out and where it's going to end up, because it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Thank you once again, Eric, for the super chat. I appreciate you. So we're gonna move on. I have another clip I want to play for you guys, and I want to this was a crazy story, but I want to hear y'all thoughts on this one. Here we go.
Why this girl called the police on her date after she got cold feet, and it was after midnight. He come to her house to go on a date. They met on a dating app. She got cold feet and then called the police on him instead of just not answering the door. She called 911 and told them that he was a domestic abuser and that she was pregnant with his baby, and that he threatened to get a knife and do what you do with a knife and take her life. So the police showed up, saw him walking away. I guess she didn't answer the door, so he was walking away, and they detained him for like an hour. He had proof of the text messages of them talking. They started on a dating app, and then they just went straight through their phone. Eventually, she told the truth and told the police that she got cold feet and just called them instead and made up a lie. So then her ass was arrested. I personally believe she had catfished this man and couldn't face it. I could be wrong. What y'all think?
Yeah, what do y'all think? Because, and I'm not trying to be mean, y'all. Not trying to be mean. But from the mug shot, she's a little, she's a little thick around the face. So, and around the shoulders. She's a little, a little big. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was a catfish. I'm just saying. And like she said, she went on a date and then you got cold feet and then instead of just, saying, hey, I don't want to do the date, or she decides to lie on the man, call the police, and thought that they was gonna just believe her. And this is another problem, making up stories on men and expecting people to just believe you just off of, GP. And they arrested her, which they should. And that's anybody lying on somebody, making up these elaborate lies and schemes on anybody should be arrested for lying, because this could cause major consequences for a person off of your lie. So yeah, you should be arrested. And I mean, I don't know what possessed people to do stuff like this, but this is unfortunate. And, you could tell that these women, they have no shame in their game, and they really don't think anything's going to happen. This is why they do it. But once again, once consequences are put in place, they'll think twice about doing stuff like this, because they know that they're not going to be able to get away with it. And it shows you the state and the mentality of how a lot of women think, because if you really think you can do stuff like this and lie and nothing's going to happen, it's more it makes it easier for you to do this, because there's no consequences, right? So once these women start getting arrested for lying on men, making stuff up just because they're bored or whatever, or they mad or bitter within themselves, and they start arresting them, then they'll stop doing this. If they know that there are consequences associated with their lies and all of their just made up efforts, then they'll stop doing it. So yeah, I'm glad that she was arrested. Look at her. She just looked lost. She looks lost and confused. Like, why am I in jail? Like, God forgive me, but the girl looks lost. Like, she had nothing better to do. She wished she had a date. So she catfished somebody allegedly. And then, when they showed up, she realized, oh, goddamn, I'm too damn big. He might not like me. So oh my God, I don't look like what he thought. I don't want to feel bad. So let me just call the police on him. That's all I can think to do. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Avenge the Ancestors says, hello, Queen DeeDee, and Room. Thank you so much for the super chat, Avenge the Ancestors. I appreciate you. Baby, it's just a mess. I'm just saying. It really is. Hold on one second, y'all. Sorry about that. Yeah. So it's hot in the how to hear y'all. So I thought this story was crazy, but there are a lot of stories going around like this where women are lying on men because they know there's nothing that's going to be done about it, and they just get away with the lies and laugh to themselves until they go back into their bitter, state and angry state. And then, when they feel like they want to come out and act upon their bitterness, then they'll do it again. They'll do it again because it's a mental cycle that's never been checked. They're able to constantly act out their mental, psychological issues on men and get away with it. And that's almost like, how they deal with their trauma, as opposed to really going and get help for their trauma and working on things. They just do stuff like this, just erratic behavior, to just hate on men because they can't get one. So it's a real issue. And I really hope they get help for it. Successful MD says catfishing should be a felony charge across the world, across the globe. It should be. It should be. I mean, I think this catfishing thing is a problem. And it's always, there was a whole show called Catfish. Thank you, Successful MD, for the super chat. I appreciate you. And how you been, Successful MD? Hope everything has been well with you and all of you. But once you always see the people who catfishing the person, they always be 400, but always some big person, hair, disheveled. It's always somebody that looks like they don't keep themselves up, and they're just big all over the place. And they're usually the one, and they just be dreaming in their house, somewhere, thinking of, having a relationship with a person. And they know, what they usually do, put a picture of a beautiful girl and play like that's them, and talk with the guys on through social media or whatever, and really be hoping, and because just to have that conversation with the man is a lot to them, make them feel good. And they know deep down inside the man would not want them. That's why they don't put their real face or real picture. You put up somebody thin, beautiful, Because you know that that's the aesthetic that most men want. You know most men don't want no big 400, 500-pound woman sitting there breathing. Just as much women as women don't want no big 400, 500-pound man. She wants somebody that's fit and look good too. So why men got to accept big, unkept women sitting there breathing hard? Oh, I just wanted a date. Oh my God. I really like you. No, that's why you put the fake picture up there to resemble what you know they like, because they've admitted it. I've watched that show too, admitted, well, I didn't think he would like me. Well, you know he wouldn't like you. That's why you put that fake, a picture of a beautiful woman, slender, and while you sitting there having the best time of your life communicating with that man, knowing deep down inside when he see you, he's not going to want you. So instead of doing that and dreaming and sitting there, you know, why not turn your life around? Why not work to turn your life around to do something to get you to a place that will be more acceptable for a man that you want? That's what I'm saying. It's too much work. And a lot of these women like to tell men, oh, you could just do this. You can make money. You can make 6 figures easy. You could do this easy. They really think it's easy for men to do all these things. But when you tell them about changing things about themselves, oh, now it's all these excuses. Oh, it's not that easy for you, huh? You can't lose that 400 pounds just by tomorrow. You got to put in a lot of work, huh? But you don't want to put in that work because you just lazy, but you're projecting your own self onto these men because you don't want you expand. This is why when these women come across a man who's confident, who has his stuff together, who has all of the things that you say you want, they back away. They're like, oh, damn, he gonna make me look bad. Because when he's fit, he's gonna probably want somebody that's fit. If he's attractive, he's probably gonna want somebody that's attractive. So when you come up and you realize, damn, I'm a little overweight, I ain't really all what I thought I was compared to him. So as long as you can fool with Pookies and Ray, as long as you can fool with the dudes who are below you, oh, it makes you feel big. Oh, I got a job. Oh, I got my own house. I got my own car. I got some money in the bank. What you got? You a Pookie. As long as you can feel like you're better than the person, you feel like you're everything and 20 slices of bread, honey. But when you're faced with a man who has more than you and has his stuff together, oh, now he's arrogant. Now he's a less sassy. Oh, now he's this, because you know you can't compete with that. Or which you shouldn't be competing, but you can't deal with that because psychologically, you haven't dealt with yourself. You haven't got your emotions and your feelings in check. So now you feel insecure when dealing with a man who you feel like it's your feelings, it's your insecurities. So these women can't really handle the type of man that they say they want, because a man who's worked hard and built himself up and gotten himself to a good place, oh, these women are insecure. They're the insecure ones when it comes to those men. This is why they can't even deal with those men, because now he thinks he's better than me. No, he don't think he's better than you. He's who he is. You don't feel like you're as good as he is. You don't feel like you can stack up to him. Just say that. It's your own insecurities. So they'll actually run the man away when they realize he's not going to tolerate their BS. He still has standards and he has goals. He has certain things that he require, and he's not going to take no BS from you. If you don't require what he has or what he wants, he's going to move on to the next, because he knows that he's the prize, that he has options, because a lot of women are looking for what he has. Whether they can accept it or deal with it or not is one thing, but they won't know that until they're in his circle, till they're right there with him. And when they're there, these women usually fold. You know, they fold under pressure because they feel slighted. They feel less than. They feel, and once again, it's not that the men are making them feel this way. That's their own insecurities, and that's just the truth. And they hate to admit it. They hate to admit it. Oh, he was too much. He was full of himself. He was this. He'll probably do this. No, that's your own insecurities, boo, because you've never dealt with a man like that. You say you want it, but you want him in a certain way. You think that he's going to be like all the other men that you've dealt with. You think that this man who's worked hard to build himself up, you think he's going to be like Pookie, who you could kind of run over. You think he's going to be like those men you're used to dealing with money and status and all of this other stuff, but he's not. It takes a certain type of man to work on himself and build himself up. So he's not going to be like the men that you're used to. So that means you need to prepare yourself for the men that you want. Bottom line, it's not rocket science. It's really not. It's really not. It is not rocket science, baby. They just don't want to do it. So this is why I say projection is real. And and women hate to admit it. And once again, the minute you can be accountable for you and get you some therapy and figure out what it is you can bring to the table, how can you add something to a man's life just as much as you want him to add to your life, then until women admittedly do that or understand what relationships are about and how you maintain a relationship, it doesn't mean that you have to be this muted woman who can't have an opinion, who can't say it. That's just unrealistic in my opinion. A person, just in general, people in general aren't going to feel comfortable in a relationship where they're just feeling like they're dominated. They can't say anything. That's just, and I don't think most men are walking around looking for that. Most men aren't looking for a woman to just not have anything to say. She's walking around timid and scared. No, he wants a partner. He wants somebody, or he wants a woman, a feminine woman who they can have a real connection or a relationship. Like, it's not about a man just being completely dominant over a woman. I don't think most men are looking for that. Not from the ones I hear from. They want companionship. They want to have a decent woman in their life, not a woman who's overly aggressive and just acting like she's masculine, have a problem with it. They just want a cooperative woman who can just be herself and not somebody who's always acting like she controlling the man and all this other shit. They just want companionship, a nice, friendly woman. Well, she doesn't have to, I don't think y'all are looking for, and y'all let me know if I'm, because I'm speaking from, what I hear from men. They don't want a woman that they can just control and like a robot. No, they want you to have your say. They just want you to understand your role in the, just a decent, loving, fun, loving woman who cares about them. I don't think that that's much to ask, but in this day and age, seem like it is. You know what I mean? You want to be able to have somebody you can laugh with and have a good time with. It's not all about money. Oh, what you gonna buy me? What is that? I need this. I need my nails done every week. I need my hair done. I need my this and I need that. And you can't afford you. I need you to do this. Everything. All I need you to do. If I was a man, I would get tired of that. Damn, y'all, you ain't got nothing else. Just, I need you to buy money, spend money on me every day. It's something. I need this. I need that. I need that. Don't you think a man will get, like, what else you got, girl? Y'all can't do anything together. It's all about $1. I need to take this trip with my friends, and y'all know how I feel about girls trips. So don't trust it. Baby, don't trust them. Don't trust them. I need to hang out with my girls. I need to do this. And they always got to do something and always got to spend money. And he got to always do it. And you're not worried about him or doing nothing with him. It's all about you and all that. Men get tired of that. It's not, what kind of relationship is that? Like, come on. Anyway, that's just a mess. So we got a lot of learning to do, ladies. We got to learn a lot. And women hate to hear this kind of content. Oh my God, they hate to hear it. They hate to be held accountable. You hate to hear it because it's the truth. And once again, it's not every woman. I know we got to say that because there are some really good women, but a lot of these women who are in the forefront making it look bad for all the women who may have potential. I want to play this other clip because in this particular clip, this woman, and she's from my hometown. She's from New Orleans, Louisiana. Got to shout out New Orleans. And her accent is thick. So she's talking about the way to a man's heart. And, we've heard this for years, that a way to a man's heart is through his stomach, right? I'm going to play this clip. We're going to talk about it. And then I'll go ahead and drop the link. If anybody want to give their thoughts on this live stream, you can come up and give your thoughts on it. And I'm gonna only do that for a few minutes. We're not gonna let too many people come up, but if you want to give your thoughts on this, on this live real quick, we'll do that. I'm not doing a panel one at a time. I'll let you guys come up if you want to say something, and then we're gonna move on and we're gonna wrap this up. But I want to play this one because I thought it was interesting, and I thought it was funny at the same time. But I want to know your thoughts on this one. So here we go.
Knowing how to cook just so important. Like, that be y'all main priority when y'all meet somebody. You know how to cook. Can't please tell me you know how to cook. Why? Because you get hungry after a long, hard day of cheating, huh? And you won't come home to a meal? Because you have a PhD, love long walks in the park, and be a Giants fan. They don't care nothing about that. All they want to know is, can you cook? Because I love my women in the kitchen. Why? Because you want to be able to knock my head between the sink and the dishwasher? They say, if you cook for him, he'll stay. That boy will take your good Tupperware and make a to-go plate and go eat your food with a bitch while they laughing saying that his mama food tastes way better because you ain't got enough pickle meat in the red beans. That's crazy. Then we be letting the older generation buck us up talking about, oh yeah, girl, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, so you gotta cook for him. Great, it's 2024. These men are on a different type of freaky level. Okay, the way to a man's heart is through his asshole. Girl, these men be wanting to eat like a supper plate. Just freaky, okay? This is not Mr. Charles and them that you met way back at the Food Cabaret bar somewhere, bitch. Jamine and them that you met at the gas station in the night walk. I don't know how to cook. Don't ask me. I don't be cooking. I don't know a thing.
She was funny to me. Shout out to New Orleans. She is definitely from New Orleans. Her name is your girl Mel 504. Shout out to her. What do y'all think about that? I've heard that all my life. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach by cooking for him. Now I cook for my husband. I cook from the beginning. So I mean, I think that's, it just, to me, it just shows some of the simpler things that men look for. They want a good meal. They want to be able to come home after a hard day's work. It's not necessarily, oh, he cheating, but I thought the way she said it was funny. But, if he out working hard and he coming home, he want to come home to something to eat, right? It's nothing wrong with that. But we know in this modern society, a lot of women, like she said, they don't know how to cook. They don't know how to cook, and they don't want to cook. So that's what it is. But I think that's part of the things that men are asking for. Look, can you cook a meal? Like, they want to eat. They don't just want, fast food, or just, they want to be able to come home and have a good meal. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that's something that's too hard to ask, but I thought the way she put it was funny. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Make sure you guys are hit the like button, hit the like button. Hey, what's going on? I'm gonna let you and Rod up, both of y'all. What's going on? How y'all been? Long time no see.
Hey, we been good, DeeDee. How you been doing?
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, we miss you.
Pain. What's your thoughts on any of what you've seen so far?
Yeah, real quick though. That way to a man's heart is through his stomach. It's really a euphemism, because it's what you do for a man after you have sex with him that gets him to cling to you. So when a woman serves a man, that's how he begins to cleave to her, because of his hormones that get released because of the duty that she gives to him. Whereas, because the sex act itself is a release of testosterone. That's why a lot of men like to get up and leave, because that's when they're at their lowest. That's that post-nut clarity we talk about.
Right.
So women who serve guys after the deed is done, not just, it don't have to be the same night, but who comes back and says, okay, we had that. So do you still like me? Yeah, I still like you. And she starts to say, okay, I'm cleaving to you. That's how he gets close to her. And it takes time. So if a woman's feeding you, that's the easiest way to say that's how you get into his heart, because you're serving him.
Right.
Right. And if he's a guy who's looking intentional for you, that service gives you points with him. And that's really where that saying, I think, where it really comes from. Because it's not, you can't really sex a man to make him love you. It's actually what you do for him that matters.
Right.
So that's where that comes from. So now, whether we're going to have that in the modern day, because it's all transactional with both parties these days.
Yeah.
And the women are making it clear that it's transactional. And men being men, okay, how much it really costs, whether it's barter, whether it's service, whether it's money, men are willing to pay for what a woman wants to give as a gift, So that's, I don't know how they're going to fix it today, if it's fixable at all. So I stopped giving advice on relationships like that unless somebody really asks.
Right.
But I want to find out from the young, I'm gonna end it here, but I really want to find out from the young guys or the young gals is if you actually want to cleave to a man, what does that look like in the modern time? And if a man wants a woman, what does that look like now? It might not be marriage, but what do you call that relationship? Is it deeper than a situational ship? Or is it a relationship with paperwork as opposed to the full commitment of marriage? You know, so, but when you say marriage to people, their eyes turn white and it rolls up in the back of their heads. And,
Yeah.
you know, so it's not even worth talking about if you ask me. But people are getting together, right? They're having babies, they're having sex. Some people actually do like each other, but they don't want to take that next step in the way we used to do it in the past.
Right. You're absolutely right. I think because it's such a transactional, situationship type of thing, it is, people don't put in the time to actually build a relationship or get to know a person. So it's all about because it's so transactional and it's all about money. You're never going to be able to build a solid relationship with anybody because you're just worried about getting to the bag, like these women say. I need money. I need money. I need money to live. And they look into these strange, random men to supply them with the money they need. Like, if they want to date them, you got to pay their rent or pay a bill. It's insane. I mean, so I don't think it's getting better, and anytime soon. I don't think, they women see it the way you and I might see it, when it comes to really, they don't see it like that. It's that's what it is. They don't want to call it what it really is, but it's definitely transactional, and that's just the way they move, and that's all they know. They don't know anything else.
So you ain't doing panels anymore?
No.
Not much.
No. I'll let y'all come up, but I'm gonna let you done. We're gonna move on because I maybe.
Thanks for letting me up.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you. Take care. I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Says it's evident that these OF women eat. Thank you for the super chat. I'm gonna leave that there. Of course. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. YG. I mean, what is it? Shannon.
YouTube IG Shannon Ross. Hey DeeDee, how you doing? I wish you had the brother up here still. I wanted to ask both of you guys a question because I get there's a growing change in the thought. Oh, he's still here?
That's somebody. He left, but
he left. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, DeeDee. So one of the arguments that I get oftentimes from men on the men's side, because people say, well, can you change a tire? Can you build a house? The women oftentimes ask men, are you the man that your father was or your grandfather was? And can you do anything with your hands? Can you build? And the pushback that a lot of guys give is, well, we don't really fix things today. We just replace them. Like if your TV goes out right now, if your flat screen goes out, we don't send it to the TV repair shop. We just throw it away and go to Best Buy and buy another one. And so guys are saying, all I need to do is make the money to be able to do the things that my father probably did back in the day. If I need to change my tire, I got AAA. I have a tow truck come out and do it for me. If I need to do some plumbing at my house, I don't got to know how to do plumbing. I don't have to fix the toilet myself. I'll call the plumber. I got the money. I want to watch the game, and I have the plumber in the back doing it. So if that's the argument that guys have, right? And I hear when they say that, and by the way, I'm 52, so I was born, so I'm Generation X, so I know how to do things with my hands. When it comes to women and cooking, guys are often arguing, well, wait a minute, can you cook? Do you like to cook? Can I get a home cooked meal? So on and so forth. Could women also give the same argument? Well, wait a minute, we got Uber Eats. We have technology today that we didn't have in the 70s or the 60s or the 40s or the 20s or even the 80s. And so as long as I'm able to get the resources to feed you, I'm just as good as cooking. Just like you have the resources to get that toilet fixed instead of fixing it yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
I think it's a good point. Who's paying for the Uber? He's paying for the Uber Eats, right?
Well, yeah. Let's say he's paying for everything. Say the brother's covering everything. Yeah.
Okay. So he's paying for the Uber. No, I think that's a good point. I mean, I don't know. I just think the only thing I could think of is the fact that he's going to have to pay for all those Uber Eats. She can't do any kind of, you can learn how to cook. Like, it just, if you don't know how to cook, you can learn to try to make something. The only thing I could think of is he's going to have to pay for all those meals for her and him to eat. And if y'all have kids, what you're going to pay? That becomes expensive. So you're going to have to pay for all the meals, he may not be able to fix anything, but he's going to have to pay for the repairs. He's going to have to pay for everything. Like, at what point, I mean, what else? I mean, making a meal, you could, there's cookbooks, there's things that you can do to at least be some type of an asset to the man. Like, Jesus Christ. And to me, cooking, I don't think it's that difficult. I think that's something you could learn easier than a man learning how to, because you're right. If something, if our TV broke, my husband didn't go fix that TV. He went and bought another one.
Exactly.
So you're absolutely right with that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but I think when it comes to repairing televisions or washing and dryer, you don't have those skills. People usually go to school or some type of, don't you take like a trade course or something to learn how to do that? So every man doesn't know how to do that, but he's going to pay for it. I mean, I don't know, Rod, what you think? I mean, I never thought of it like that.
Well, at the end of the day, DeeDee, he's going to fund all this stuff. I mean, the plumbing, the Uber Eats. I mean, at the end of the day, he's paying for all of it. So yeah, he's funding all this stuff. But I say this here when it comes to I would say when it comes to a woman cooking. I mean, when you get in that kitchen to cook, I mean, I appreciate the fact that you're putting forth some time and effort into cooking something and preparing a meal for me. You know what I mean? Yes, I can go out and go grab something. Yes, I can go do that. But the fact that you're in there, preparing something for me, that says a lot. It does. I mean, you're taking time and effort, to cook for me, and most men would appreciate that. But back to I forget who said that about the quickest way to a man's heart through the stomach. I've heard that before, okay, but I think with a man is that, I mean, respect, okay. Can you respect me, okay? If he sees, well, to me, okay, this is just me talking. I don't know about anybody else, but if you can show me that you can respect me, okay, and admire me, I'm gonna give you something to respect, okay? I am, all right. But if you can do those things, I mean, that means a lot to me. That goes a long way with me, okay. Just showing respect. I mean, just some type of honor. I ain't talking about you got to worship me, nothing like that. I'm just saying, but respect goes a long way. It really does. Okay, and it'll will make me look at her in a different. Like, okay, well maybe I can deal with her. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, she she's that. I mean, okay, yeah. So I think respect with me. Okay, I don't know about any other man, but with me, respect goes a long way. It does.
So Rod, what you're saying is it's the gesture. I want to say gesture, but it's the thought that counts. It's the fact that she's able to nurture you from the kitchen, as opposed to being a resource and be able to get it done. Like, what's more important, Rod? If you hungry, you did a hard 12-hour shift all day out in the world, and you come home and she got food hot piping ready for you, but she didn't make it. But she had the forethought to make sure that you're taken care of, and she does this every night, but she doesn't cook it herself. Is that the same as her in the kitchen cooking and mixing up the recipe and putting the flour in and the eggs and doing everything? What matters most, the fact that she's taking care of you or the fact that she's doing it herself?
Well, okay, I like how you posed that question. I would say this here. I mean, if with me, okay, I would say it's the thought. It's the thought. Okay, the fact that, I mean, okay, well, hey, look, let's say, okay, she can't cook or didn't have time to cook. Okay, but she thought of me enough. Okay, well, hey, look, he's been working 12 hours. Okay, I tell you what, I'm gonna come on. I'm gonna make sure that he has something to eat. Okay. Now, yeah, I appreciate that. I do. That I would appreciate that. But I would say this here, brother. I would say this. It's something about a woman. I mean, taking the time, actually cooking for you. I mean, that says a lot. To me. Now, I mean, this is me. Now, I'm not talking about any other man. I'm talking about me. It says a lot to me. Okay, well, this woman, she took time. I mean, to bake this and do this. I mean, she thought enough for me to do that. And I appreciate that. I thank her for that. I do. And that goes a long way. I mean, it does. I mean, and I'm not knocking. Okay, if she buys something. Okay, maybe she didn't have time. Maybe she don't know how to cook. Okay, okay, cool. Or maybe she don't know. Maybe she got off work late herself and she had time. Okay, cool. Okay, fine. Okay. But it's the fact that she thought about me. She considered me. Okay. she had enough. Well, I ain't gonna. Well, I say respect that. Why? Well, I was to say she thought enough of me to do that. I'll say that, But to me, and like I said, this is Rod talking. Okay, I appreciate a woman who get in the kitchen and actually cook.
You know what? And I think too, though, when you have that love and adoration and respect for your man, you want to do something like that. It's so easy to just call Uber Eats. It's so easy to just get it from somewhere. When you care enough, you want to do something that you may not have done for any other man because you know that this man deserves it. So it's almost like it's a sacrifice in a way that something you want to do for him. You want to, I didn't in the beginning of my marriage, I didn't cook nothing from scratch. I mean, not like, like scratch. Like I would cook, but eventually I started learning new ways to do stuff and learning how to do things. My husband know how to cook too, though.
Mm-hmm.
He will cook too. So I wanted to make he liked meatballs and spaghetti. I'm not gonna go to a restaurant and get that. I mean, I think he would appreciate it, but at the same time, it's like you want to do things like that to make it yourself. You're proud, like you feel a sense of, you feel good doing it for him, and you can say, I did this myself, and see his response. I think it's more of the effort that you put in to do it. It's easy to buy a meal or something like that. It's easy to do that. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa, the same. Like at the end of the day, when it comes to like fixing something or something is broken, I don't care. I know my husband's not an electrician, so he doesn't know how to, may not know how to fix that TV. There's other things that he does know how to fix though, but the things that he doesn't know how to fix, I just want a new TV. Go get the new TV. To me, it's a little different. It's like, it's broken. I just need it fixed. Recently our air conditioner went out. He can't fix that. I know he can't fix it. I don't have a problem with that, but you go get the people and they came and pay and they fixed it. That's it. So to me, that's like a little different in a sense. Like I'm not expecting you to, because I know he doesn't know how to fix that. So I don't care as long as it gets fixed. So
you're also not requiring him to learn. Like, so when he doesn't know how to fix something, where the HVAC system goes out of the house or the toilet or whatever, you don't say, well, damn, why are you spending money? Why don't you go learn how to do that yourself?
Well, not on certain things. Like, if our gate broke, my sons and my husband got out there and fixed the gate. They didn't call somebody to fix that. Cutting the grass. They cut the grass. They don't call somebody to do that. The toilet, they fixed that. Something happened outside with the drain. They fixed that. So I think certain things that they can do, they do. But when it's something I know that you can't do, that you don't have time, he got to go to work. He got things. He ain't got time to learn how to be an electrician and mess it up and make it worse. You got to certain things. I think when it comes to men, you got to know. Hey, I got to pay for this. But the things that I don't have to pay for, they handle. My sons too, because they're big enough to handle. They handle it. They fix it. You know what I mean? Things that he can fix and do, they do. He does. But things that's just out of the realm of his knowledge, then you pay somebody to do it. But I think cooking and cleaning a house, those are things that I can do. That don't take a real special skill to know how to clean your house and cook food, Yeah.
Hey, and Shannon, also too, Shannon, I'm sorry, can I call you Shannon?
Yeah, that's my name.
Yeah. Also too, Shannon, I mean, back then too as well, like I was raised by my grandparents, okay? Back then, you had to know how to fix stuff because you didn't have the money and resources to go buy a new TV or buy a new car. You had to know how to fix stuff, So my granddad, he had to learn how to fix the engine. He had to learn how to do that because he didn't have the resources that that I have. Well, his grandson has now. Okay, I go buy a new car. Okay, I go buy a new TV. But back then, he had to learn how to fix that stuff because he didn't have the resource, So when women say stuff like that, I think a lot of times they're being disingenuous. Can you fix this? Can fix that? Look, I can't fix no air conditioner. You know this.
When they say, "Oh, well, why don't you build a house?" Come on, they know. So somebody gonna build that house. Y'all like, but some men have that skill. They know how to do it. But most men today don't know how to just build a house from brick to brick or wood, whatever. I think that is a bit of a disingenuous argument.
That's the word. Disingenuous is the word, and that's why I brought it up. And I wanted to just put this on your show because oftentimes women try to conflate something that they can do to what men can't do and can't just learn or even just pick up a book and pick up over the weekend. Like you can pick up how to make a lasagna over the weekend.
Yes.
You can't necessarily pick up how to fix the AC. So when I hear women say, well, you know what, can you build a house as the example, or can you do this, or can you do that? They're using that to say, or to combat the argument of can you cook? Now, for me, I'm just like Rod. The consideration is what's most important for me. Right. Whether you make the food, you know, I would like to save a little. I know we could save a whole lot more going grocery shopping, but you know, the consideration of you making sure that I'm well fed so I can continue to do what I do as a man, as a husband, as the leader of the house is what's most important for me. Not so much who's doing it, but that it's getting done. But still, when women oftentimes give pushback saying, well, can you fix the electrical outlets in the house without dying versus can you make some spaghetti is not really fair. It's not really a fair argument. And so when people say, well, you know what, I'm a resource. Well, yeah, men are a resource, and ladies, you're a resource as well. But if there's something that you can do or learn how to do, I would suggest that you do it, like your husband fixing that fence. We don't need to call a carpenter or to bring out a general contractor to go outside and fix the chain link fence or the wooden fence. We can do that ourselves at Home Depot. So I just wanted to put that on the books for the show today, DeeDee.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because I hear that all the time. Well, can you cook and clean? Well, can you build a house? Come on now, that just doesn't make any sense in this day and age. You know, men ain't going outside with going get bricks and making their whole house. Like, you pay somebody to do that. You don't, like, it's just crazy. Yeah, cooking and cleaning. First off, you shouldn't be cooking and cleaning just for a man. You should be doing that regardless. You have to eat. Exactly. You own a nasty house, right? You should be able to clean your house. And then a lot of these women already have kids. Come on, if you have children, you need to cook for your kids. You need to clean after your children. You need to make sure that your house is, properly cleaned and stuff. But somehow they created this mindset that, they should be paying somebody you need a housekeeper, you need a maid, you need a babysitter, you need everything that you should be doing. In my opinion, as the woman of the house, they want to pay for those services, which I think, and you're not paying, you want him to pay for it. And I think, honestly, even if you have a man that's making good money, I personally think you should be finding ways to help him save an extra coin. If he don't have to pay for a babysitter, if he don't have to pay for it, and you can do the work, that should be a benefit to both of you. Aren't you trying to build something? Why would you want your man to have to just splurge on spend more money that he really don't have to spend? I think being in a relationship means that you need to be looking out for each other. So if you're at home, especially if you're a stay-at-home wife or a woman, if you don't have to work, there's no way, especially if you at home, there's no way you should be out Uber eating every night and all this for your family, for you to everybody. That's crazy to me.
And the lazy factor is one of the biggest arguments I think that men have. Because, it's one thing that you're not considering me when I'm out here working or I'm out here doing what I'm doing as a man, and you're not considering me. It's another thing for you to be lazy and then expect me to solve the nutritional issue in our relationship as well. Yeah. It's like, I gotta make the money, I gotta do this, I gotta protect you, I gotta provide, I gotta problem solve, I gotta come up with all these things, and I gotta come up with the bread for you to sit on your iPhone and order some Uber Eats. Or that part is problematic, and I think that's one of the issues that men are having, and that we're trying to get across to women, saying, "Listen, it's not so much about can you cook; it's the fact that when you don't cook, you still putting it on me to make sure that we're fed." Exactly. And it's like, God damn.
Exactly. I was gonna say something to Shannon. I got to say this. It's like it's like she got to use some type of pushback, which is funny. I don't get that. It's like, to me, cooking is not I'm gonna ask you the cooking fancy, okay? But it's like, I see this with black men a lot. It's like, this woman has to give this Negro some type of pushback. So I got to push back against him. It's like, I refuse to submit. I'm not gonna submit to you. To me, it's not that. To me, it's simple. Just to cook something, But it's like, I mean, when it comes to, a black man, and I see it's a lot, especially in our community, it's like I have to give him some type of pushback, okay? Well, can you build a house? You know doggone well I can't build no house. I can buy one and put you in, okay? You know I can't build no house. But it's like she has to give him some type of pushback. And I don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't. It's like, okay, I am not going to submit to him under no circumstance, And I'm thinking, okay, well, what is the issue? What's the problem? I mean, what is the problem? I mean, why is this even a discussion? Why? Now, okay, now I can see, I mean, if you weren't feeling well, you didn't know how to cook. Okay, I got that. I understand, okay. But the simple fact, I mean, that you just have to give me some type of pushback. I don't get that. I don't. So now, Shannon, I mean, I see it a lot. I mean, I was married before. I'm actually getting married again September 4th. So I'm getting remarried. And this woman can cook, DeeDee. She can cook. So yeah, she can cook.
Okay.
I ain't got no problem with this one, okay. But I mean, but I've seen it. I mean, just unnecessary pushback. So I don't understand. I just don't get it. I mean, maybe you can help me understand, Shannon. I just don't.
They want to live a soft life.
A soft life.
They want a soft life. They don't want to have to do anything. But y'all got to do everything. I just, that's why, part of this channel is why I wanted to, well, it started with Kevin Samuels, honestly. That's where because what he was saying, in my opinion, is what I've seen with a lot of my family members. That's what got me with Kevin Samuels. He's, I seen it in my aunties, mother, women in my family. He pointed them out clearly to me. So that's how I resonated with him, and why I started talking about this is because I've seen it. And I think, it just boils down to women and their expectations for men. They have high, super, to me, unrealistic expectations for men, but they don't have anything that they can counter that with. They don't come into the relationship with any, much. And if I say they don't have any value, oh my God, they're gonna call me a pick me. But it's it's like there's nothing that you can bring that the man is really looking for, is what I'm saying. Like, I think you have to, if you have certain expectations from a man, then it's realistic for him to have certain expectations from you, whatever that may be. Every man's expectations from a woman is not the same. So, there are some men, my husband, we talk about this all the time. Some men don't require to have a home cooked meal every night. That's not his requirement. He might be okay with certain things because he don't eat. So it depends. Every relationship is not the same. There's not a one size fits all for what a relationship needs in terms of what the man is looking for versus what the woman is looking for. That may be different for some, but whatever it is, you have to be aware of what each person is looking for. That's why I say, look, you have to communicate with the person you're in a relationship with, or you're trying to date or whatever. Get, and understand what it is he's looking for, what you're looking for. And if y'all are compatible and what y'all looking for, y'all work together and make it work. That's it. It's not all men want this or all women want this. It's all about your individual personality or preferences and if it's compatible with the other person.
Yeah.
Well, you speak on the soft life, and in terms of hypergamy, where women date equal or up.
Yeah.
One of the things that they mention is their expectation. Well, if we make enough money, I don't need to cook and I don't need to clean because we'll just have a maid and a chef. And so if I can just get a maid to come to the house and clean every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, dust up every once in a while, and then I can get a chef to come in and do our meal prep, then I've done all I need to do as his woman while he's out there working, by the way. And soft life is, I mean, that there's a big argument for that, because technically she should be the CEO or the assistant to make sure that all that stuff is taken care of, but she's also utilizing resources. And women are many women are under the impression that if they get a man that can afford it, he's going to pay for it. And I can tell, I'm in Los Angeles. I can tell you right now, that's not the case. And they a lot of times they get a rude awakening thinking they're going to get with a brother that can pay for certain things, right, and that he's just going to just whip out the credit card and get Molly maid to come by and then get yourself a personal chef and make sure they make our food. And then that's all you got to do. And that's not ever the case. Not in any of the circles that I run in.
It seems like women, they want a concierge. That's what they want. You a concierge as a man, I mean that's what it seems like. They want a concierge. They want you to, and I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, it's just an observation. I mean, they want a concierge, And they also too, a lot of them don't know what they want. They give you their idea of what they think you should be doing. Okay. Like for instance, okay, my next door neighbor, DeeDee, she's a high school principal, okay, white female. And her husband, he's a band teacher. That's all he does outside of DeeDee. That's all he does outside. He's a high school band teacher. That's it. Okay. Uh, she cooks for him, and I know this because they tell me. I talk to them all the time. Okay. She'll leave school, cook for him, and go back to school. So I think in our community, DeeDee, like I said, it's so backwards. I just think, like I said before, DeeDee, the black community is a place where cats bark and dogs meow. I just think it's strange.
Rod, this is a black couple that you're speaking of. This is a black woman that does that.
No, white woman. No, I'm not, and I'm not trying to compare. I'm not trying to say white women. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, okay, that I just think our community is just backwards when it comes to certain things. I mean, just weird. Yeah.
It's delusional. That's the word. Delusional. And like Shannon was saying, I agree. Just because a man has money, or you assume he's not willing to just spend all his money. I mean, if he had to work hard to accomplish the amount of that status, he's not just spending it. That's a misconception I think women have. They think that because you got it, you should be spending it, and that's just not how that works. I mean, if you make a lot, doesn't mean you want to spend it all. That's how you keep it. And if you have a woman who comes in and she can just, they act like cooking is the worst thing ever. Now I know there are some women who just don't know how to cook, and I know women who can't cook and have husbands, but a lot of these women they're not even trying. They're not even trying to, and they're not just cooking. It's a whole host of things that they don't want to do. So they really just expect. That's why they want a man who make what they say 6 figures or more or whatever. So they thinking, oh, I get him, I can live the soft life. I don't have to lift the finger. I don't have to do anything. But they still want to work and make their own money and keep their money, and they want you to just constantly spend yours, which I think is ridiculous. Also, and like I said, maybe I'm just from the old school where I don't believe that. I mean, if you are able to work, then you should be able to contribute to the household. If that was your agreement. And it boils down to the agreement in the relationship too. If the agreement was, look, if you get a job, hey, we can, we're going to help out or whatever. It's expensive to live. So if you can make good money, why not contribute that to the household? Y'all help each other. Y'all work together. But it seems like working together nowadays is not the theme. It's not the trend. It's all about the man providing. And like I said too, and Rod, this, I mentioned when me and my husband got together, I was a stay-at-home wife. I did not work. I worked inside the home. I took care of the household, cleaned, cooked, took care of the kids. That job is rough. I will tell you that. It's not easy taking care of them. And then we had, small children, more than one in diapers at the time. That's a lot of work. It's like, but that was the agreement. He went to work. He didn't make a whole lot of money, but he made decent money. He was able to take care of all the bills while I was at home with the kids. Yeah. And I've pretty much done that the whole, kids are older now, the whole marriage. And so, but he wasn't rich, because people say, oh, if you got to be rich damn near to do that. That's not true. But also I didn't live a what you would call a soft girl life. We didn't
opulent life. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a regular, we didn't take trips all the time. It was a normal life. And but people don't know that. Social media, reality TV has made these women think that they need to have this soft life or whatever, where a man comes in and pay for all this extra stuff and they don't have to do anything. That's unrealistic to me.
You know what, DeeDee, that's the power of television and social media. I mean, to have women really think that. Kevin Samuels called it the color purple effect. I mean, I like that. It's so powerful. I mean, media and television is so powerful. And I give an example, like in the 1975 movie Jaws, starring Robert Schneider, produced by Steven Spielberg. You know the story about the shark eating people, killing people. Okay, that movie is so powerful, DeeDee, that back in 1975, you had people scared to get in the water. Okay, you had people scared to swim. I mean, it was a movie. It was fictional. I mean, it wasn't real. But you had people scared to get in the water because they thought some shark was gonna get them. Okay. And it's the same thing with the color purple. They had every black woman thinking every black man was Danny Glover, So it's like, that's the power of social media and television, They actually think that, And I'm sitting there thinking, what is wrong with you? I mean, no, that's not how this works. But no, but that's just the power that I mean, and it's just amazing how our people are so influenced, especially a lot of our women, you know. And I'm talking about the women in my family too. I ain't prejudiced. I mean, just the women. I mean, I just watch how, you know, I got an aunt DeeDee been married 5 times. 5 times, DeeDee. Okay. And you know, and all 5 times it was the man's fault, DeeDee. Okay, it wasn't her. Okay, it was their fault.
Right.
But I know her. I know her, DeeDee. I know her since I know her. It was her fault. Okay. I mean, it was something that she done. She got a mouth. She like to fight. She like to cut people. I mean, that's her. That's her. I mean, so you know, but if you let her tell it, it's all the man's fault. Okay.
Right.
And you see that all the time. I mean, not her. She's a small microcosm of a lot of women. But I don't want to take too much conversation. I know Hustle, he wants to get in.
Gotcha. Marriage, shout out to Marriage, Politics, and Sports says the stomach to heart is a metaphor for service. I said euphemism, but metaphor fits better. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Hustler, what's your thoughts on this, y'all? We're going to wrap this up. And how you doing, Hustler?
I'm doing good. Long time no see, DeeDee.
Yeah.
For real.
Good to see you, though. What's your thoughts on all of this?
I mean, that chick in the last video talking about she gets offended when men ask her, does she know how to cook? First of all, it's just a generic question because, you know, men and women alike are capable of cooking. I know I can cook a little something. So it's just a general question. And second of all, maybe he wants a future with you. Who knows? I mean, I don't see the big deal in men asking a woman if she knows how to cook. You should already know how to cook, you know, just to make your own damn meals, or you got kids at home, make meals for them. So I don't see the problem with a man asking that. And plus, like I said, maybe the man wants to build a future. Maybe the man he likes her, wants to be in a relationship. He wants to know, you're going to be my wife. You have to learn how to cook. But we live in a society that says women don't have to do that. If he does, that's slavery. That's misogyny. Okay, that's all well and good, but don't get mad at men when they don't ask these important questions, because naturally when a man doesn't ask stuff like, oh, do you know how to cook? What's your body count? You know, stuff like that. He don't want a relationship with you. I've done it before. I don't ask women these kind of stuff, but then again, I don't want a relationship with these said women. So maybe they better be open to that possibility as well. If a man doesn't ask, if you're a woman and men are not asking you these kind of questions, best believe they don't want a relationship with you. They may want a sexual thrill, but they don't want a relationship with you if it goes that damn far. But what's so offensive about if a woman knows how to cook? Seriously.
Well, Hustler, see, therein lies the precursor that women are. When a man asks a woman, do you know how to cook? She's taking that as, are you asking me for a lifetime of servitude? She knows that he probably wants to have a life with her, and that's the reason why he's asking. But she's interpreting that as, oh, you're asking me, am I going to take care of you for the rest of your life? And remember, we always talk about how a lot of women want to be married, but don't want to be wives. They don't look at marriage.
Exactly.
They don't look at marriage as a, you know, some young men as well, but by far women don't look at it as a service and giving situation. It's a me, and it's a take. And if you're asking me in the dating phase, if I know how to cook, you're basically asking me, am I going to cook for you? And then you really saying, am I going to cook for you for the rest of my life? And so they take that offensively. And it's like, basically, well, how come you not taking care of me? And, well, you know, don't ask me what I'm going to do for you. And that's your slick way of seeing if I'm going to be submissive. And so that's where the offense part comes in, because they, you know, media and everything that Rod just explained has conditioned people to believe that, you know, life is hyper individualism, and getting in a relationship is about gaining happiness and what you can get out of it, as opposed to what you can put into it.
Exactly. And these will be the same. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but these will be the same women talking about men don't want relationships. Men don't want to get married. Men will only want us for sex. Well, that's what you're presenting. What the hell do we want? I could just say, well, I just want a F girl or a friends of benefit, but we can't say that now, can we? Asking if you can cook meals, it's a sign that you want me to take care of you for the rest of my life. First of all, I don't need no female cooking for me. I could care less if she wants to cook for me. If she wants to do it, whatever, cool, but I don't require it. And second of all, shoot, it don't make a lot of sense talking all that BS about, oh, this is servitude, but then you complaining later on, men don't want relationships. Men don't want marriage. They just want to pump, dump, and keep it moving.
You know,
isn't that what they're presenting to us? Isn't that what the hell they're presenting to us?
Yeah.
That's all that they're good
You
for.
mentioned that.
I'm just
You
saying.
mentioned that if I want to be the F boy, you know what, you wouldn't want to hear that. And again, you know, I try to teach men and tell men, be upfront and forthcoming in the beginning as early as possible. If that's what you want, let her know. But what you just unlocked, Hustler, was the fact that asking that question is letting you know that he doesn't want you as just a sex toy. He doesn't want you as somebody he can just, pump and dump. That question is a term of endearment, if anything, because if I'm asking you, because if I don't want you to cook, it means I don't want you at my house all the time. I just want you to come by for the night, go home. No, you can't spend the night. I don't want your breakfast. I don't want your breakfast. I don't want your dinner. I don't want you even getting comfortable with my pots and pans. I just want you to go to the bedroom and go home. So if a brother is asking a woman a question like that, if somebody was smart enough and read between, a little bit deeper than the surface, they'd say, oh, you're asking me something that is, basically checking to see if I'm worthy of being with you for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
Like
and you would think these
Thank you.
would know this.
Yep.
Because I can tell you from my experience, I never once asked a woman to cook for me. Like I said, I don't require her to cook for me, but I still get attention from her. Like the man just said, by not asking that question, you're basically implying that, hey, I don't want you for anything long term. I don't want you coming to my house, getting comfortable and cozy. Cook for me once or twice, okay, but don't make a habit out of it. That's the message that's the message that we're sending if we don't ask them kind of question. Trust me, I've been doing that for a majority of my life. I never asked a woman if she wanted to cook for me. I had one chick cook for me, but it was just a one-off thing. But I don't require females to cook for me, especially if I'm not trying to be in a relationship with said female. So that's the message that they're kind of putting out there. Now, if you want to cook for a man, fine, but don't get too comfortable with that, because then you're going to have the man feeling like, oh, you want a relationship, but you're not qualified to be in a relationship. Because some females will try to pull that trap game on you, cook for a man, and try to get him to stay with you. Nope, I don't want that. If I see you're not a relationship qualified woman, I don't want you cooking for me or cleaning up for me. Just like the man said, come on, let's have fun and get the hell up out of my damn house. That's the message that we're projecting.
Also, too, Shannon, you got to put an asterisk mark by that statement too, because it's only servitude and slavery if it's a black man. Okay.
Exactly.
You got to put an asterisk by that, because, like I said, it's only slavery and servitude if he's black. Okay. So yeah.
You'll cook for Brad Pitt, but you won't cook for Denzel Washington. Wow.
Is it a requirement for? Do y'all think is a requirement for most men that a woman know how to cook, or some men just don't care about that? Is it
it's kind of in between. It depends on the woman.
I think it's generational. I think it's generational. Like there's, okay, if you ask young men, 35 and younger, is it a requirement that she knows how to cook? Probably not, because he's not conditioned to that. He didn't have a father growing up or whatever, and so he's just like, he's with the whole fast food nation. Let's just get some Uber Eats type stuff. Where a brother like me is like, yo, that's a requirement. The issue is that young guy is going to become an older brother one day, and everybody got to eat. Everybody got to eat every day for the rest of their life. And so it becomes a point of contention later on if you don't require it early. And so that's why brothers like Hustle and Rod and myself is trying to get people to understand cooking is important, ladies. And us asking you shouldn't be something that triggers you, because this is something that's long lasting, especially if the women out here talking about they want relationships and don't just want to have a one night stand. So is it a requirement? Some men don't know it yet.
Right.
Many men do, but everybody's gonna one day realize, yes, it is a requirement. I can't really think of, and I don't know if you guys can think of any long-term relationships, let's say 20 years or longer, where cooking and meal prep wasn't one of the cornerstones of their relationship. I can't think of a relationship.
I can tell you one thing. I know some friends with benefits and booty call relationship that have lasted for 5, 6, 7 years without that requirement.
Well,
yeah. Exhibit A, for example.
That's true.
I've seen flings last longer than that. Seriously.
Right. But also, too, like I said earlier, when you looking to have a family, right? You're looking to bring kids into this. What you gonna feed your kids? Fast food or every day? Like, come on, you gotta think about them too. Now it's on occasion, yeah, you get pizza for the kids and things like that on occasion, but for the most part, you should be cooking healthy meals for your family, for your growing children. You gotta factor that in too if you want to have children, you know. So you're not, and then once again, it's expensive. Food is expensive. You go to the grocery store, you spend it 3-4, and y'all know we spend a lot on food because we got a lot of children. So I'm like, come on now, you got to think about that. You're gonna spend way more, in my opinion, eating out. Uber, what is it? I won't even do that. Uber Eats every night for the children and the whole family. You know, that's a waste in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So stop saying. Rod, you have static, Rod.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I think it's my phone. I'm sorry.
And here's something else to think about. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you meet a woman, she says she doesn't cook, but you deal with her anyway. And you decide to shack up with this woman and y'all living together. You know what? She's in your house. She ain't got to cook for you. She ain't got to clean for you. All she has to do is just walk around the house, look nice, and turn you out, give you some sexual gratification. You know what she's going to say? Oh, I'm not a sex object. You can't use me for my vagina. I got more to offer. Then where the fuck is what you got to offer?
Now,
make up your mind. Which is it?
Hustler, look, I've been demonetized, baby. So we got to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because you know what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, DeeDee. I'm sorry.
I feel you. I get where you're coming from. But
I feel bad about that, DeeDee, because I hope it was my fault.
No, it wasn't your fault. But
I got a mouth on me too, so don't feel bad.
What is this? Dominant. I don't know what I guess AOYS from here. I don't know what that means. But anyway, thank you for the super chat. It says their insecurities could cost a man everything. D. Thank you for the super chat. Red Star 7311 says, don't buy that BS, dog. They get offended because most of these chicks can't cook. These chicks want you to help them live off takeout. Thank you for the super chat, Red Star. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, you know, look, to each his own. At the end of the day, y'all know how I feel. Like, look, whatever you want to do, whatever works for you, works for you. But overall, like y'all saying, most men, and especially older men, you know, like Shannon said, and I agree, sometimes the young men think it's okay. Oh, whatever, it's nothing to it. But as you get older, you realize, you know, you know, either you're spending too much money on, you know, takeout, and you're like, well, it would be nice to just for you to cook something, or, you know, or let's cook something. Like I said, both my husband and I cook. Well, you know, we both can cook. So it's like, and my sons could cook, my daughters, everybody could cook. So, you know, this eating out all the time, if that's your preference, y'all can afford it and y'all okay with it, that's y'all business. But, you know,
look what he opens up. Look at the argument that he opens up when he later on says, well, you know what, do we got to go out again? Can't you make something? She gets to say, wait a minute, I ain't never cooked before. You ain't never required this before.
That's true.
Why are you asking me to do something that I've never done before? You switching up. And now you got an argument, they fighting. And, you know, you were speaking on that earlier, but, you know, somebody, I forget which brother it was, but somebody was saying that, oh, no, it was you, DeeDee, that you said, you know, some people that's married and she don't cook. But then we also, you know, what's a fair percentage of people that's still married that can't stand each other? You know, we may not see it on Facebook, Instagram. We don't see it when they come to the, you know, to the Thanksgiving dinners, but they arguing all the time and they can't stand each other. And maybe they still together because they can't afford to break up. Maybe they still together for the kids or whatever reason. So despite the fact that we have a 60+% divorce rate in the Black community, particularly, of the 40% that's staying married, how many of those people are happily married? So, you know, you got people that if you ask, and then, so brothers, make your demands early as possible and stick to them. Don't bend away because the sex is good. Require what you need for the long term now, because if you switch up later, you're giving somebody ammunition to say that you switched up, because now you're asking me to do something that I've never had to do before.
Yep, that's true. Hustle, what you think of that? And then y'all, I'm about to wrap this up. I'm not staying too long. Hustler, what's your thoughts on that? I agree with you on that, Shannon, for sure. What's your thoughts, Hustler?
Oh, my bad. I didn't hear everything he said, but I heard enough of what he said.
I think both should be upfront about what it is you're looking for, women and men. So what do you think of that? You think you should be upfront about what it is you're looking for? So like he said,
I've always had an issue. I've always had an issue trying to be upfront with a woman because I don't want to get ghosted. I don't want to offend her, depending on where she stands. I've always had an issue. Now, have I been upfront in the past? Yes, I have, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not going to tell a female, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm looking for something casual, and then she ghosts me. I've had that happen before. Does it happen all the time? No,
Yeah,
but
but
it's happened before. So how can you
she
be
may
honest
ghost
and
you on
upfront with women
Tuesday.
nowadays? I'm sorry,
She
go
may
ahead,
ghost
sir. I'm
you
sorry,
on
go ahead.
She may ghost you on Tuesday for being upfront and forthright with her and telling her what it is. But don't they always circle back by Saturday, hustler? Don't you know?
Okay, that's happened to me before. 2 days later, she hit me up talking about I want to work something out.
Right.
Or I bump into her again. She's like, okay, I'm willing to compromise. Okay, damn, that happens. Yeah.
Right.
be
And that's why
upfront.
that's why I think it's good no matter what. And I get it, man, because the fear, because you may want to hit that. She may be kind of fine. It may, whatever reason that you don't want to be too truthful with certain women who can't handle the truth. But I think it's the best policy as early as possible, despite whatever it comes from that, because more often than not, the real ones is going to be happy with the fact that you kept it real and stick around off the jump. The other ones that's shocked and is grabbing her pearls and can't believe that you said something like that, hustler, is going to bounce today. She's going to call you back in 2 weeks, bro. She's going, she pulled up on you, hustler. I know she did. And the ones that didn't hustle, you probably didn't want to deal with her no way. So.
Well, they say rejection is protection, so I guess so. And the irony,
before, hustler. I remember you saying this exact thing before, and I'm like, nah, you got to be upfront. Like, you can't be. And I think by you saying that, there are men who are afraid to be upfront because of the reasons that you just stated. And I'm like, nah, you can't be afraid because maybe you avoided something that was not good for you, and you can't be afraid about that because, like you said, if she's interested, she's gonna be interested. If she's not, keep it moving.
yeah. I mean, now granted, I don't support the idea of feeding women a false reality just so you can get into their pants, or a false dream that you want just so you can smash that. But I can understand why men do that, because it seems like women will only accept that offer from men that are highly attractive. Like if you're a 7 or 8 or a 9 out of 10 in terms of good looks, yeah, she'll go with that. But if you're like me, average in the looks department, nah, she ain't going for that. So now you got to feed her some false dream or this false desire that you want to commit to her just to get access to her. Again, I don't condone. I've seen guys do that. Oftentimes it doesn't work well for them, because now the woman is all in her feels like, why you do this to me? Why you do that to me? I don't condone that on either the man or the woman's side. You have to be honest and upfront, but I can understand why we can't do that. We don't want to say the wrong thing, get them pissed off, and they don't want to deal with us anymore. So I get that aspect of it.
Oh well. But I mean, I get it too, because I've heard a lot of y'all say that, but is it worth it though? Like, do you end up with the woman anyway? Or it's just for a small, a short term gratification or whatever, just to possibly be with her or whatever, for just to get a piece of that? Is it just that's still not anything? Long term is still short term.
Yeah, it's always short term gratification when you don't keep it real up front. And I think and again, a lot of the stuff that I'm saying right now is only a result of me being 52 years old and going through the fire back in the 80s and the 90s. And I wish somebody would have told me these things, or even emphasized it the way we have like podcasts now. Back then, we didn't have this, so I had to learn it the hard way. And now that I've learned it, and and my man a hustler understands it and he's learned it, I think it's kind of our job to try to tell other brothers, hey man, this is what you want to do. Hustler says he's seen it firsthand where it doesn't work out for guys, one way or the other. But in the long run, it's going to be better for young men to understand that and do that. And it's if you eliminate wasting a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
And don't nobody want to waste a whole lot of time.
No. Right.
I appreciate you, DeeDee. I'm gonna let you go. I know you're getting ready to wrap up the show. This is a great show. I'll tap into the next live like I always do.
I appreciate you. Having me. Definitely. Take care. I appreciate you being here.
All right.
Oh yeah. Before I dip, how long you gonna be doing these lives again? Are you back at it for good this time? I know you've been gone for like 2-3 months.
Yeah.
I know you're a busy woman.
I did a live last week. I actually been up here. Never really left. Yeah, but so I'm gonna start back with them. I'm still not sure about this panel thing, but you guys, I'll let y'all up one at a time, probably, just to avoid the chaos or conflict or whatever, because like I said, my channel was demonetized. I'm not having that happen again.
So that's why he took down all them old lives from like last year up until now. Okay.
Well, partly because it got crazy. I don't know if you've seen that last, but I'm not getting back into that. It got crazy, and I was just like, heck to hell with it. But yeah, so yeah, I will be, because I like doing them. You know what I'm saying? I like doing them. I like to get y'all perspective and things like that. So I'll still be allowing you guys to come up, just not like it was before, because I respect y'all opinion and what y'all have to say, and that's the whole point of doing it in the first place, you know. So yeah, so I'm just not gonna let them. And like now, this was good because I'm not letting all them people up like it was before, because it just was chaotic. So we're gonna still do it, probably maybe twice a week. And I'll let y'all know. Usually, since today was a Tuesday, probably every Tuesday and Friday I'll pop up here around 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, the same time.
Perfect. I'm off Tuesday, so that's perfect. And I work graveyard shift now, so I got plenty of time on my hands now.
Good. So it's good to see you, Hustler, and definitely probably this Friday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then so I'll just do Tuesdays and Fridays. I'll be up here at 1 p.m.
Works for me. I mean, people like you inspired me to start my own channel. I've been doing my own channel for damn near a year now, so yeah.
Man, that long? That went quick. That year went fast.
So my first show was September of last year, so yeah.
Okay.
If you can.
Okay, wow. Well, I'm gonna get out of here, Hustler. I appreciate you for being up here. Definitely chime in as usual. All right.
Anytime, my girl. Anytime. Take
care. Be safe. What is KJL podcast channel? Thank you for the super chat. It says, I am a 63-year-old black man. I grew up with both my parents. We all had mothers and fathers. Blame feminism and the boss chick mentality. Well, of course, exactly. I mean, you know, thank you for the super chat once again. I agree with you. That's definitely a problem in this day and age. And, you know, modern women don't see it. You know, they don't see a problem with it, but they do see a problem with it because it's affecting them getting stable relationships, and they're still acting confused as to why they can't get what they're looking for. But they got to realize that, listen, the issues, they are a part of the issues. They are a part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? And constantly blaming the men is not gonna, you know, fix those issues. You have to fix them within yourself. You have to be accountable for your actions and the things that you do, and that will make your situation and your outcomes a lot better. So that's my take on that, you guys. Thank y'all once again for stopping by. Shout out to Palmer. What's up, Palmer? Palmer, I'll be up here again on Friday. So everybody, I'll be up here Friday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you guys have your notifications turned on. Make sure you are liking the live stream, and make sure if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody who gave super chats and cash apps to support the channel. I appreciate you for that. It definitely helps the channel out. Yeah, so make sure you guys are tuned in. You have that notification bell turned on, and you are subscribed to the channel. That is it. Thank y'all. And Alex, I didn't forget you, Alex. Make sure when you come up, Alex, you have a avatar on your avatar wasn't showing on your picture for some reason, Alex. But next time, definitely come up, Alex. So shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to everybody who supports the channel. Thank y'all so much. I will see you Friday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all take care. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Wow.